Mr. Smith.
Yes, Your Honor. I have Tina Bach.
Is she in custody?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tina Bach there?
We'd move to withdraw.
Let's see if she's there first. Is Tina Bach at the jail?
There she is, Your Honor.
All right. Grant the public defender's motion to withdraw. And go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Your Honor, she's present before the court for a violation of probation. The original charge was open house party and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. The original recommendation from probation was 30 days. We talked to Mr. Story this morning. He's agreeable to her time served, which is 15 days at this point. It was the misunderstanding on her end was she had cashed out a retirement plan to try and pay off all the balance, and that just didn't come through in time because it was an early term when all conditions were met.
Right.
And she also did the community service, but apparently it was at a place that could not be approved.
Oh, okay. Okay, so she's just going to admit in time served, which is 15.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, very good. Can you raise your right hand for me? Solemnly swear affirm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes, sir.
State your name.
Tina Bach.
Ms. Bach, you understand by entering an admission to a violation of probation, you give up the right to have a trial to the court, the right to confront the witnesses against you, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
Are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
You had enough time to speak to him and he's answered all your questions?
Yes, sir.
Case number 17, MM4423, do you admit that you violated your probation?
Yes, sir.
I'll accept the admission, find it's freely and voluntarily made. Revoke and terminate that probation unsuccessfully, adjudicate you guilty of the underlying charge if that was not done before. I'll sentence you to 15 days in the county jail, credit 15 days served. You have $50 cost of prosecution and your cost of incarceration. If that takes care of it, Tina, if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck.
Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
As Lito, apparently his father is enforcement.
Okay. You want to clear that courtroom or my courtroom?
Your courtroom.
Okay. Well, okay.
Make a spectacle of.
I understand, and we did it with what's his name, and it really left me uncomfortable.
I understand.
Because
that's the Constitution. It's getting in the way of everything you want to do.
It is, and I think it's bad for all of us when we do that kind of stuff because it makes it look like we're treating ourselves better than we treat Joe Average.
Yes.
So, okay, so I'll do them last, but I'm not clearing it. I'm not taking it off the jail. All right, thanks, Rich. I knew you would. You've read the Constitution. I'll call Mr. Brown's office, see if they have any interest. Right. Okay. And that's all you have, Scott?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, very good. And Mr. Pila.
Good morning, Judge.
How you doing today, man?
Pretty good. How about you?
Good. All right, let's see. What's your off-docket thing? You got a couple off-docket things.
Two things, Judge, right. First one's Christopher Carl Homan, 2018 MM1192. Judge on that case filed a motion for nonviolent contact. Mr. Lehman found out about 8:28 since it's not his job to do first appearance this morning, but Judge, the victim is present in this case, and she would just like to let the court know that she'd like to have nonviolent contact.
Okay. Have her come forward.
Ma'am, just come up. Judges, for the record, her name's Amber Homan.
Okay. Morning, Amber. Hang on 1 second.
I just didn't know if I had
Okay. Amber, raise your hand. Solemnly swear firm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth. Just state your name.
Amber Holman.
And Amber, how do you know Christopher Holman?
We're married
Okay, how long have you been married?
since 2001.
Okay, that's 17 years this year. How long have you known him?
I knew of him since high school.
Okay, way back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Are you concerned that Christopher, well, my understanding is you'd like to have contact restored, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are you concerned that he's going to hurt you or harm you in any way?
No.
Anybody threaten you or coerce you to get you to come here and ask for contact?
No.
I will amend it to peaceful contact, so you're allowed to have contact with him. Of course, it's always a crime for him to touch you any way you do not want to be touched. It now will be a condition of his bond that any contact that he has with you must be able to be described as peaceful. That means if he so much as raises his voice at you and we find out about it, I can put him back in jail without bond. It doesn't change anything for you as far as law enforcement is concerned. If you think there's a problem that requires 911, you should call 911. They'll come as fast as they ever would, okay? Do you have any questions about any of this?
I don't think so.
Okay. All right. So Mr. Pila will let him know that we've amended the contact to no violent or peaceful contact. He's already got a court date somewhere, I'm sure, so we won't change that. And thank you for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
And then one of these first appearances. You said Kinchell.
Right, and Judge, I do have one other motion.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's right. You have a DUI case, right?
Right, Judge. That was Richard Howard Shelton, 17 CT 382. Judge, that was my fault. Just looking to waive the impound on it. He told me in court that his wife uses the vehicle and they have no other vehicle, so we're asking that be waived as conditions for probation.
So we recently sentenced Mr. Shelton on a DUI 1 in 17 CT 382. We'll amend the sentence to waive the impound requirement.
Thank you, Judge.
You want to do first?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Sure.
Much service.
Yeah. Kinchell Holder, you want to step forward? Holder, raise your right hand. Solemnly swear firm, tell the truth, whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Yes.
State your name. State your name.
Quinchell Holder,
Quinchell, what's your date of birth?
July 17th, 1987.
Hang on one second. All right. Kinchell, you are here on a warrant that Judge Rupi signed. She found probable cause for one count of battery as a second or subsequent offense. Mr. Pila, well, hang on. Mr. Lehman, what do you want to tell me, first of all?
Shown in 2009 and arrest. Looks like a conviction on battery. 2009 aggravated battery, which is knocked down to bad second. Conviction. 2009 possession of cocaine conviction. 2010 controlled substance without prescription conviction. She went to prison 2010. Released 2011. And the instant charge.
Very good.
All right, Judge, we're not going to dispute what the state just said. The only reason I'm here this morning, Judge, she got arrested on a misdemeanor.
Oh, this is an upman.
And it got upmanded, so she already posted bond for $1,000. Now she's got to post another $2,000. Judge, what I'm asking should be ROR. We've already filed in on the new misdemeanor case. We knew the warrant was coming, Judge. So,
Okay.
Based on that, if the court won't do an ROR on it, if you would at least knock down her bond significantly, considering she's already posted bond in this case and has had to turn herself in a second time.
Right. Okay. And young lady, I have an address for you on Candlelight Boulevard. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
Since November of 17.
Do you have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I do medical billing.
All right, I'm gonna put the bond back at 1,000. I understand this creates an issue, but it is what it is. Condition of the bond, Ms. Holder, is still that you have no contact with Shamika Summer. And now you'll be back in court on the 21st of May. Make sure you stay in contact with your lawyers, all right?
Okay.
Very good. Thanks.
Yep, thank you, Judge.
All right. And good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt Hitzemann, County Court Judge here in Hernando County. You folks are here for your first appearance. The purpose of the first appearance is so that you may be informed of the charges against you. I will determine if there's probable cause for those charges. Probable cause simply means that it's more likely than not that a crime has occurred and more likely than not that you're the person who committed the crime. Of course, as you stand before me this morning, I presume that you're innocent of these charges. That presumption of innocence will stay with you through every stage of the proceedings unless and until the state can prove the allegations against you beyond and to the exclusion of a reasonable doubt. We'll set your conditions of pretrial release this morning, that is your bail or your bond. In most cases, your bond has been set already pursuant to the bond schedule here in the 5th Judicial Circuit of the warrant which led to your arrest. We'll determine if that bond should be raised or lowered or left the same, or whether there'll be additional conditions of pretrial release placed upon you. We'll let you know when your next court date will be. If you'd like to have the services of the public defender, I'll gladly appoint the PD to represent you this morning. You do have a right to have contact with folks on the outside, family, friends, counsel. If you haven't had a chance to make that call, please let me know. We'll make sure that that happens. Finally, and most importantly, you're advised that you do have an absolute right to remain silent with regard to the facts which surround your arrest. I encourage you to do that. These proceedings are recorded. In addition, there is an assistant state attorney in the courtroom with us. If you say something that tends to incriminate you, they will use it against you in the prosecution down the road. I now need each and every one of you there at the jail to please raise your right hands and be sworn.
Raise your right hand. Go.
Y'all solemnly swear first, tell truth, whole truth, none but the truth. Outstanding. When you hear your name called, please step forward to the podium. Melanie Cox. Morning, Melanie. What's your date of birth?
9/20/80.
All right, Melanie, I have 2 issues this morning. The first is 3 counts of possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those, and it appears you're currently on community control. There's a warrant for a violation of community control. There's probable cause for that. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. On the possession of paraphernalia, I'll leave the bonds on those at $500 on each count for a total of $1,500. Those are coming back. What's the misdemeanor day today? 516. What is that? Me or? Okay. You'll be coming back on the 16th of May on those. They might have told you the 21st on that one, but it'll be the 16th. On the VOP or the VOCC, the bond, of course, is no bond. And that one will be back on the 21st of May. Public defender is going to come see about both of your cases prior to your court dates, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Nancy Eck.
Morning.
Morning, miss. What's your date of birth?
1984.
Nancy, you're here on a charge of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel, or would you like me to appoint the public defender?
I will hire.
Very good. State, what can you tell me?
2002 organized fraud with probation violation, resisting without. 2003 out of Pasco. Petty theft withhold. 2003 out of Fernando. Petty theft second. 2003 tin property. A fraud. So withhold. 2005 an FTA. 2005 resisting without. 2006 FTA on a misdemeanor. Let's see, false name Galileo, which is a conviction. 2006, another FTA. 2006, violation of probation.
That's probably good, Rich. Nancy, I got an address for you on Brentwood Circle in Lecanto. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay. How long you been there?
I've been there for quite a while now.
Okay. You have a job these days?
I do.
What do you do?
Right now, I am waitressing and going to school.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with, looks like Mr. DeGennaro. No contact means no contact of any kind. You don't call, you don't write, you don't email, you don't text message. No contact through any social media. Don't go where he lives, don't go where he works, don't have any contact of any kind. Any way that you might imagine contacting him, I forbid you to do that. If you have contact, When we find out about it, your bond can be revoked and you can be held without bond until the charges are resolved. It means no contact even if he wants to contact. So if you answer your phone and hear that voice, you should hang up. If you're out and about and see him, you should turn around and run the other way. You need to understand that he cannot drop the charges against you. That is not a decision he gets to make. He may go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, may say he's not interested in pursuing this matter. But that decision belongs solely to the assistant state attorney who will be handling your case. So unless that person or the judge on your case tells you the charges are dropped, you should assume they are not dropped, and you should not have contact. In addition, I'm going to hold you at the jail today up until 4 p.m., so that if you wanted to serve you with a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. If you get the civil injunction, it's doubly important that you not have contact, because in that case, not only could you get your bond revoked here, but you could get new charges for violating the injunction. I'm going to have you back in court on the 16th of May. Very important when you speak to your lawyer that you tell him about that date, okay?
I understand.
Thank you. Kristen Massino. Want to miss what's your date of birth?
9/14/82.
Kristen, I got two charges today: possession of ammunition by a convicted felon and possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those two charges. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, State.
Working backwards out of Pasco, let's say this month, resisting without, tampering with utilities. 2015 out of Pasco, criminal registration, it's like 2014 possession of methamphetamine, violating probation, controlled substance without a prescription, 2013, more methamphetamine, paraphernalia, other paraphernalia, FTA 2013 out of Pasco, on a possession of paraphernalia, another BOP on paraphernalia, 2012 an FTA, times 2 on possession of controlled substance, 2011, sale or delivery of oxycodone.
That's probably good, Rich. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
Miss Massino, I got an address for you in Caldwell Lane in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
4 years.
Do you have a job these days?
No.
Okay. On the possession of ammo, I'll set your bond at $2,000. On the drug paraphernalia, $1,000. That's a total of $3,000. These charges will be back in court on the 21st of May. If you get out, you should go see the PD right away. Otherwise, they're going to come see you at the jail, all right?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Edward Bales. Want to, sir, what's your date of birth?
August 14th, 1965.
All right, sir, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Rupi. She found probable cause for 5 counts: sale of methamphetamine, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell, possession of a structure for the purpose of the sale of methamphetamine, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, I guess.
I'll appoint the public defender. State.
Looks like out of New Jersey, 1985, conspiracy to commit burglary, cocaine possession, 1986, burglary, 2002 out of New Jersey, theft by unlawful taking, 2003, possession with intent to use drugs, out of Georgia, 1987, an FTA, times 2. Not sure the underlying charge. That's all I have, Judge.
Okay. All right. And, sir, I have an address for you on Spring Hill Drive. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you been there?
After a year,
And do you have a job these days?
on disability.
I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $10,000 on the sale and the possession of methamphetamine, $5,000 on the structure, $2,000 on the communication, $1,000 on the paraphernalia. That's a total of $28,000. These charges are coming back on the 21st of May. If you get out, it's very important that you contact the public defender right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you at the jail prior to your court date, okay? Thank you. Michael Bailey. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
1/17/91, sir.
Okay. All right. First thing I have for you is a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. In that warrant, he found probable cause for 4 counts: possession of a conveyance for sale of a controlled substance, possession of a felony amount of cannabis, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. The second warrant was also signed by Judge Scaglione. In that case, he found probable cause for 5 counts: sale of cannabis within 1,000 feet of a church, possession of conveyance for sale of a controlled substance, possession of felony amount of cannabis, unlawful use of two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself, you're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD.
I'll appoint the PD, States.
Sorry, Your Honor, I can't confirm his history this morning. A lot of aliases.
Okay. And Mr. Daly, I have an address for you on Welsh Street. Is that where you live?
Yes.
How long have you been there?
I'm kind of homeless.
Okay.
Where my brother lived.
Okay. Where were you staying yesterday? Or were you living outdoors?
My car.
Okay. All right. And so then, do you have any kind of regular employment right now?
Nope.
Okay. All right. On the first warrant, I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is 2,000. Well, they kind of screwed that up, didn't they? It's going to be a total of 13,000. On the second one, I'll also leave the bonds for the warrant on that one. It's a total of 18,000. That's a total of 31,000. All your cases are coming back on the 21st of May. If you can't get out, the public defender will come see you before your court date, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. All right, hang on a second. So Kathleen, on this first one, I'm putting the bonds in the order they're on the arrest, the front sheet. That's not the order they're on the warrant. So if they need a change, let me know. Jonathan Jackson.
Morning.
Morning, Mr. Jackson. What's your date of birth?
8/1970.
All right, Mr. Jackson, you're hearing a warrant signed by Judge Merritt. Apparently, you failed to appear in front of him on 2 charges: possession of controlled substance, possession of marijuana. As to those charges, you're going to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the public defender. The bond on the warrant is no bond on both counts. I can't change that. I'm going to change your date. I'll send you back to see Judge Merritt on the 1st of May. Public defender will come see you before then, okay?
Thank you.
Thank you. Carlos Jackson. Morning, Mr. Jackson. Date of birth?
8/1/85.
Mr. Jackson, I got two issues today. First is a warrant that I signed. I found probable cause for one count of grand theft auto. The second is a new charge of possession of oxycodone. There's probable cause for both charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
2009 DUI. Looks like he violated his probation by picking up with Willis. 2010. Willis third or subsequent, which is withhold. He was convicted of a felony somewhere along the line. 2011, grand theft auto, violated his probation. 2012, another DUI conviction. 2012, violated his probation. 2015, battery, no resolution. 2016, violation of probation, paraphernalia, controlled substance on prescription. Those are all convictions. 2016, violated his probation. That's all I can confirm this morning.
Okay. And Mr. Jackson, looks like I got an address for you on Dakota Drive. Is that where you're living these days?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
About shy years now.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I was helping someone out with landscaping, but not actually physically.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave the bonds for the schedule on both charges. That's $2,000 for each, with a total of $4,000. They're both coming back on the 21st of May. If you get out, you should contact the PD's office right away. If you can't get out, they'll come see you at the jail. All right?
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
He does have apparently a Virginia hold.
Yeah, there's a couple of things. I think he's got another county too. William Keener. Morning, William. What's your date of birth?
23/1990.
All right, William, I've got 5 charges this morning. 1 count of grand theft, 2 count of uttering forged bills, 2 counts of forgery of a check. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire a private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD, Steve.
2011, forgery times 2 or 3. So 3 convictions. Violated his probation. 2012. He went to prison. 2015, petty theft. 2015, defrauded a pawnbroker, dealing in stolen property. 2015, violated his probation. Let's see. 2015, organized fraud, conviction. 2015, violated his probation. 2015, FTA, unsure of the underlying. 2017, Willis. 2018, just a warrant.
He's got something
I think
open right now, but it looks like these predate what's open. Based on the case number.
He has the open charges, grand theft, stealing stolen property.
Right.
That's the judge.
William, I got an address for you on Cambridge Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
That's just where I was staying, Your Honor.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
I'm on unemployment.
Okay. I'm going to leave the bonds for the schedule, which is $2,000 on each of the 5 counts for a total of $10,000. You'll be back in court on the 7th of May because that's where your other cases are. If you get out, you call the PD right away. If you can't get out, they're going to come see you, okay?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So now, Kozak. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
Morning. 1666.
And you are here this morning on a warrant signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 4 counts: sale of oxymorphone, possession of oxymorphone with intent to sell, unlawful use of two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, do you wish to represent yourself? You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor.
I'll appoint the public defender. State, what can you tell me?
2011, violation of probation on a misdemeanor. 2011, violation of probation on a felony. And it looks like he was arrested back in March in Hernando County. Matt Leo.
He's got to open
with.
Yeah.
Criminal mischief and paraphernalia.
Okay. All right. And Mr. Kozak, I have an address for you on Holiday Drive in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, Your Honor.
How long have you been there?
Less than a year.
You have a job these days?
No, I'm unemployed right now, Your Honor.
Okay.
Looks like these predate his.
Yeah, this is from 17. Yeah. Okay. Okay, I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $5,000 on the sale. I think that's what it was. Yep, $5,000 on the sale, $2,000 on the possession and the unlawful use, and $1,000 on the paraphernalia. The total is $10,000. I'll move these to the 18th of May, which is where your other case already is, so they'll be coming back at the same time. If you get out, contact the PD. Otherwise, I'll come see you at the jail. All right?
Okay, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Judge, I'm sorry, I'm a little confused with the dollar amounts. Showing the sale of controlled substance at $8,000.
Well, that's a mistake. And I can't go with that. If you look at the warrant, they've got it right on the warrant. It's 5, 2, 2, and 1.
Thank you, Judge.
Yep. Jesse Latinka.
Morning, Judge.
Morning, Jesse. What's your date of birth?
11/25/1982.
All right. Jesse got 3 charges this morning: driving on a suspended license, reckless driving, and leaving the scene of an accident with damage. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
PD.
I'll point to PD. State.
2002 Dwillis, 2004 violation of probation on an unknown, 2006 possession of cocaine withhold, action tag on the sign, and violation of DL restrictions, 2007 FDA on an unknown, looks like he violated his probation, 2012 DV arrest, which was dropped, 2014 FDA on an unknown, 2014 out of Pasco, got a withhold on petty theft. DSP was dropped. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
All right. And Jesse got address for you on Burns Road in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
A few months.
All right. You got a job these days?
Yes, sir. I work part-time lawn maintenance.
Okay. Set your bond at $500 on each count. Your total is $1,500. You'll be back in court on the 16th of May. If you get out, get a hold of the PD right away, okay?
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Good luck. Kyle Lucas. Morning, Mr. Lucas. What's your date of birth?
5/12/88, sir.
Sir, you're here in a charge of a warrant signed by Judge McCatherine. He found probable cause for 1 count of dealing in stolen property. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
PD, sir.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
2003 is a juvenile shoplifting, second or subsequent. 2004 is a juvenile criminal mischief. So withhold. 2006 is a juvenile, Willis. 2007 FTA is an adult. 2008 out of Citrus, violation of probation on no motor vehicle registration. 2008 a VOP on an unknown with an FTA. 2008 a dropped Willis. 2008 aggravated assault. So conviction. 2009 an FTA on a felony. 2010 fleeing the elude, which is a conviction, and Willis conviction. 2010 violation of probation on the aggravated assault. Looks like you went to prison on that. Cannabis possession, which was dropped in 2011. 2011 criminal mischief and an FTA. 2015 habitual Willis conviction, resisting without conviction. 2015 misdemeanor Dwillis conviction. 2016 FTA on Dwillis. 2017 violation of probation on DSP.
All right, that's good. Kyle, got an address for you on Davis Street in Beverly Hills. Is that where you live?
Currently, I'm in the custody of Department of
Oh,
Corrections.
you're DOC. I'm sorry. All right, I'm gonna leave the bond at the 5,000. We'll have you back on the 1st of May and get this thing resolved for you. All right?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
AP about to see you right away.
Okay.
Dennis Mackey. Morning, Dennis. What's your date of birth?
1374.
All right, Dennis, I got I got one warrant and one writ. I got a warrant for you out of Pasco County. The judge had signed. Apparently, you failed to appear in court on a charge of driving on a suspended license, and the judge had issued that warrant, set a bond of $50,013. I can't change that bond. If you're able to post it, you could get out of jail here, go down to Newport Richey, and find out when they want you in court. If you can't post it, they'll have 5 days to come get you. It doesn't take 5 days with Pasco County, but if for some strange reason you were still here in 5 days, they'd bring you back to see me. The other issue is a writ of bodily attachment, which also out of Pasco County, which means that a child support hearing officer and a circuit judge determine that you owe some child support. They set a $400 cash purge. Same thing, you'd have to post that and then go down to Newport Richey to find out. Well, they won't want you back in court on that. But either way, if you can't post both the cash and the bond, then Pasco will come get you within 5 days, okay?
Okay.
Thank you. Michael Musser.
Morning, Your Honor.
Morning, Michael. What's your date of birth?
12/21/19.
Michael, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for one count of battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for that charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender, Your Honor, but can I add the charges have already been signed to be dropped by the state at the state attorney's office?
Okay. Were you listening to me when I explained no contact earlier? Were you?
Yes.
One of the things I said is you need to know that she cannot drop the charges. That's not a decision. It's up to her. She can go to the state attorney's office and ask them to drop the charges, say they're not interested in pursuing that matter, but that decision belongs to the assistant state attorney. So the fact that she has asked does not mean that they will be dropped. And quite frankly, it probably doesn't mean that because the warrant was still active and you were arrested. My guess is that means they've decided to go forward even though she wants them dropped, okay?
Yes, sir. I turned myself in last night.
That's outstanding. So you want to state, you want to tell me what you got?
Juvenile 2007 paraphernalia. 2009 is an adult. Burglary of a structure conviction. 2011 FTA. Looks like out of Lake County on possession of cannabis. 2011 FTA. 2012 arrest on marijuana, violation of probation and paraphernalia, and carrying a concealed weapon. Do not know what the resolution was on that. 2017 domestic violence and criminal mischief. I think you did PTI on both of those. That's all I'm showing, Judge. Oh, one moment, sir. You may have something out of Kentucky for 2010, menacing, resisting arrest, and disorderly conduct with no resolution. That's it, Judge.
Michael, I've got an address for you on Groveland Street in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
I'm staying with my brother.
Okay. You're staying someplace else right now, right?
Yes, sir. With my brother for the time being.
Okay. Do you have a job these days?
Yes, I actually own my own business. And I just quit working full time for somebody else to focus on it.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond at $500. Condition of the bond is that you have no contact with Bianca. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understand that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I'll have you back in court on the 16th of May. If you get out, you should contact the public defender's office right away, okay?
All right, appreciate it.
Thank you. Robert Rogers. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
2167.
Robert, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 5 counts, sale of methamphetamine within 1,000 feet of a place of worship, possession of methamphetamine with intent to sell within 1,000 feet, possession of structure for the sale of methamphetamine, unlawful use of a two-way communication device, and possession of drug paraphernalia. As to those charges, you wish to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State.
Beginning 1986, resisting without, was to withhold, and fleeing to elude, was to withhold. 1988, assault, conviction. 1994, hit and run, no resolution. 2000, out of Escambia, plate unassigned, conviction. 2009, grand theft auto, resisting without. Grand theft auto's conviction, resisting without, was dropped. Controlled substance without prescription conviction, 2009. Violation of protection against DV conviction, 2009. Violation of probation on grand theft auto, 2009. Another VOP, 2009. Violation of DV injunction, resisting without, grand theft auto. All convictions. Looks like he went to prison 2010. Violation of probation in 2010. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
Robert, I have an address for you on Plumbago Court in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
About 3 months.
All right.
Months.
You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I do lawn maintenance and house handyman work.
Okay. All right. I'm going to leave the bonds per the warrant, which is $10,000 on the sale and $10,000 on the possession, $5,000 on the structure, $2,000 communication, $1,000 paraphernalia. Totals $28,000. You'll be back in court on the 21st of May. If you get out, you should contact the public defender right away. Otherwise, they'll come see you at the jail before you go to court. All right?
All right.
Thank you. John Schnack. Morning, sir. What's your date of birth?
August 17th, 1979.
John, I got 2 charges today: possession of controlled substance, possession of drug paraphernalia. There's probable cause for those charges. As to those charges, you want to represent yourself. You want to hire private counsel. Would you like the public defender?
Public defender.
I'll appoint the PD. State what you tell me.
2006, possession of controlled substance, so withhold and DUI. So he may have violated his probation because I'm showing an adjudication later. 2010 on Sumter, possession of altered prescription, which is a conviction. 2010, possession of counterfeit drug. 2010, controlled substance without prescription, which is a conviction. 2011, DV drop. 2011, looks like a VOP out of Pasco. 2012, looks like he went to prison. That's all I'm showing, Judge.
All right. And, sir, I have an address for you on Corbat Avenue in Spring Hill. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long you been there?
About 10 years.
All right. You got a job these days?
I was supposed to start one today, but I'm here.
All right. What kind of job was it?
A lawn maintenance.
There you go. Set the bond at $2,000 on the controlled substance, $1,000 on the paraphernalia. Your total is $3,000. You'll be back in court on the 21st of May. If you get out, make sure you contact the PD right away, okay?
Yes, sir.
Alvin Greer. Morning, Alvin. What's your date of birth?
4/26/76.
Alvin, the charge is battery being domestic in nature. There's probable cause for the charge. As to that charge, you want to represent yourself. You're going to hire private counsel. Would you like me to appoint the public defender?
Represent myself.
Very good. State what you tell me.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I can't confirm. It looks like he has a bunch of out-of-state stuff, but I really can't confirm that this morning.
All right. Alvin, I have an address for you on Whiteway Drive in Brooksville. Is that where you live?
Yes, sir.
How long have you lived there?
4 months.
And does Miss Trejo live there as well?
No, she lives in Indiana.
Okay, well, she wasn't in Indiana last night, was she?
No, she arrived last night from Indiana. I'm sure she went back by now.
Okay. You have a job these days?
Yes, sir.
What do you do?
I'm a carpenter.
Okay. I'm going to set your bond to $1,000. Condition is that you have no contact with Miss Trejo. Did you hear me explain no contact earlier?
Yes, sir.
And you understood that?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I do have to hold it till 4 o'clock, even if she's on her way to Indiana, so that if she were here and wanted to get a civil injunction for protection against domestic violence, we'd know where to find you. I'll have you back in court on the 16th of May. Very important that you contact the public defender if you get out, all right?
Self-represent.
Oh, that's right. You self-represent. All right, so be back in court on the 16th of May, all right, sir?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. And then I have a change of plea for Richard Schneider.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Schneider just pled on his felony to 2 years of community control of this case in 18 MM 1092. He has 30 days in. We request time served with no claim.
Okay. And any objection from the state?
Still defer to this honorable court, Judge.
And what's the charge, Dave?
For resisting without violence.
Resisting without.
Okay. Very good. Okay, so Richard, you want to take time served on the misdemeanor?
Yes, sir.
Very good. You understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent, but you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
In case number 18MM1092, as to the charge of resisting without violence, how do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty of the charge. I will sentence you to 30 days in the county jail, credit 30 days served. There'll be a fine and court cost of $503, $100 for the public defender's office, but that takes care of it. Richard, if there's nothing else keeping you in the jail, you will be released today, all right?
Yes, sir. Thank you. Have a good day.
No. Matt, you got something else?
Yeah, there was a plea up in felony court.
Right.
A misdemeanor on it, so it's hoping I can get it resolved right
here.
now.
Yeah. What's the case number, Matt?
Judge, it's 2018 CT 720. It's Herbert Santos, Judge. It's
Herbert Sanchez?
Santos, S-A-N-T-O-S. Judge, he was just in front of Judge Toner. Judge Toner reinstated him onto probation. He does have to stay in jail, though, Judge. So what I'm hoping to do, he's going to transfer to Connecticut. So if that transfer goes through, we don't want the DUI holding him up.
Right. So he's got it's an open DUI here?
Correct, Judge.
Okay.
It's actually in front of Judge Ruthie. First time DUI set for May 8th. But Judge, he'll plead. He's got 68 days in. He's been in continuous custody since he was arrested on February 18th.
Okay.
When I'm asking Judge, he gets 68 days credit. Plead the first time DUI. There's no enhancements or anything on it. Just we put him on probation for like a day.
Yeah. And then what did he get upstairs? He's on probation for how long?
Judge, he got reinstated to 3 years probation. He's supposed to transfer to Connecticut.
Okay. And how much of that time is left? Do you know?
Like 2 years and 10 months.
Oh, okay.
Judge.
All right.
Yeah.
So it's all left.
Yeah.
All right. You haven't signed a plea form? State, do you have any particular heartburn with any of that?
Forgot that part. Sorry, Judge.
Did they ding him for the coin upstairs?
They did, yep. I think I've done this before, Judge, that I would have filled this out.
You would think. You only
What was
sitting there.
the case number on this?
It's 18 CT 720.
It was already ours, Dave.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure.
Or if you can just sign right here. Just gonna plead no contest.
Does it sound?
I didn't fill out the date.
Herbert, raise your right hand for me. Solemnly swear or affirm to tell the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir.
State your name.
Herbert Santos.
Mr. Santos, you understand by entering a plea today, you give up the right to have a trial by jury, the right to confront the witnesses against you, the right to remain silent. Do you want to give up those rights so we can take care of this today?
Yes, sir.
You put your hand down, Herbert.
Sir.
Herbert, are you satisfied with your lawyer?
Yes, sir.
Had enough time to speak to him? He's answered all your questions?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Case number 18 CT 720 is the charge that you drove while under the influence. How do you wish to plead? You can plead no contest.
No contest.
I'll accept that plea, find that it's freely and voluntarily made. I'll adjudicate you guilty. We'll put you on probation for 1 day. Special condition is that you serve 68 days in the county jail with credit for 68 days served. There'll be a fine and court cost of $1,031. They'll suspend your driver's license for 6 months. 50 hours of community service, which you may perform or buy off at $10 an hour. Level 1 DUI school, substance abuse evaluation, treatment if recommended, 10-day vehicle impound, 1 victim impact panel. and all of those things will be D6. So what that means, Herbert, is if you ever down the road want to have a driver's license again, you'll have to complete all those DUI conditions before that can happen, all right?
Yes, sir.
So we're going to get some fingerprints from you, and we'll get you on your way.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Your Honor, I'm sorry to interrupt, but we still have one more in custody.
No, I know. I'm waiting.
Okay.
All right. Going to get Herb's fingerprints, and then we'll do it, all right? Okay. And this is Matthew Colito. Matthew, what's your date of birth?
11/19/2001, sir.
Mike, is this you?
That's me, Judge.
Matthew, you're here on a warrant that was signed by Judge Scaglione. He found probable cause for 4 counts of sexual battery, 1 count of lewd and lascivious molestation of a child less than 12, or 2 counts of that. And Mr. Brown's office is representing Mr. Colito.
Yes, Judge, we are. We originally represented him on the
When it was a
juvenile case number, and now knowing that it's a direct file, we will file our notice of appearance in this case. I don't know if the bond, did the warrant actually reflect bonds, Judge?
Yeah.
It does?
Yeah.
Just to give you some background, obviously Mr. Colito was a student in school, and his father is an employee of the Bannock County Sheriff's Office, so he has some ties to the community. I don't know if he'll be residing back at that home because of the relationship of the victim.
Right.
Obviously that's a concern for bond, I'm sure, but I know it's not, I would ask for reduction, but certainly any position you want to take, we'll file the motions in front of the trial judge.
And I assume there's limited or no history?
Limited or no history, Judge.
Right. I'm gonna leave the bonds per the schedule for this morning just because of the seriousness of the charges.
Of course, sir.
The condition of the bonds will be obviously no contact with the alleged victim and GPS monitoring at his expense.
Yes, sir.
So the total on the bonds is $25,000 on each count of sexual battery and an additional $5,000 on the L&Ls. That's a total of $110,000. So Matthew, you'll be back in court on these on the 21st of May. I'm sure your attorneys will stay in close contact with you before then, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Judge.
Very good. All right, thanks, folks.